Welcome to my official Copa América 2024 predictions. Let's get right into it. Group A, we've got the reigning champions, Argentina. Then a young team in Canada, and then two teams with experience in this competition but have pretty old squads, Chile and Peru. Firstly, in fourth, I've made some South Americans pretty angry with this one, with my fourth, third, and second. Fourth, I'm going Peru. Winless in Copa America qualifiers. There's no one in their team really sticks out to me, and they're not in good form. They have a really old squad. I see them getting last in this group on 0 points. Third place, I'm going Chile. So they also will be eliminated, but they'll make it close with Canada in second. Both of them will share points on 4. Both getting a draw against each other, but Canada will have the upper hand on goal differential, and they will go on to the next round in second. Now Chile, they're not in the best of form either. They also have an aging squad, but they also do have bigger names. Like, they've got Alexis Sanchez, which might not be the best player now in 2024, but he's still shown his quality at times for Inter. So I think they'll do better than Peru. They'll beat Peru, but they'll finish third, and they'll be knocked out. Second, I've already said Canada. They've got a really young team, and the talent is there. Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, Alphonso Davies, Steven Eustachio. It's a really good team. Even Tejon Buchanan at Inter. Jesse Marsch now as manager, I think will work really well. But of course, they're not finishing first because that will be Argentina. Their team is just way too good to be finishing anything but first with 3 out of 3 wins here. Group B, this is the group of death here. We got Ecuador, Jamaica, current reigning Gold Cup champions Mexico, and Venezuela. In fourth, this is a really hard one to predict, but I'm actually going to say Mexico finish bottom of the group. Yes, they did win the Gold Cup, but this is a team that just does not look good ever. They also lost the Nations League final afterwards against the U.S. 2-0, 2-0. So that was nice for me, and I am an American. But this Mexico team just does not impress me. They do have really good players like Santi Jimenez. They've got Luis Chavez, scored that free kick against Saudi Arabia at the World Cup. But I just don't think they'll be able to gel well together. They'll go winless, and they'll finish last. And also, no Memo Ochoa, which is a really big loss for Mexico in the goalkeeper department there. No Ochoa. And I think they'll finish last in the group. Third, I could genuinely see them making a push for top 2, but I just, like, they've been in really good form in CONMEBOL qualifiers, but they're underperforming, or not underperforming, they're actually overperforming. But they just don't have the quality compared to the other two teams. I'm going third, Venezuela. On paper, they are the weakest team in this group, but they've been in really good form as of late. I think they'll finish third. They'll make it close, but in the end, they'll be knocked out. And then top 2, I'm going second, Jamaica, and first, Ecuador. I would have Jamaica as first, but Leon Bailey has actually had a falling out with the Jamaican Federation, so he will not be going to the Copa America, which is a huge loss. Ethan Pinnock of Brentford, I believe, also isn't going to the Copa America. So those are 2 big losses for Jamaica. They'll still get out of the group in second. Because, like, they've got a good team around them as well. Mikel Antonio also doing decently at West Ham. And I think they'll finish second. And then first, Ecuador. They have a 120 million priced midfielder. And a center back that almost went invincible. Now, Estupinian is actually injured for the Copa America, so he's not in the squad, which is a big loss for Ecuador. But I think they will still top the group here. And then we go to Group C, which I think is the most predictable group. Last place is going to be Bolivia. These guys are terrible whenever they're not playing at home. Third, Panama. They did beat the U.S. on penalties in the Gold Cup semifinals. Well, the USC team. So, yeah, they're better than Bolivia, but they're not as good as the top 2 in this group. So, they'll finish third. Second, the U.S. We do have a really good team, but it's just the coach. Greg Berhalter. Man, there was a point where we actually could have gotten Jesse Marsch instead of bringing back Greg Berhalter, and I think that would have been a better pick than Greg Berhalter, because at least Jesse Marsch has experience. He's managed in the Champions League. This guy's won league titles before, albeit with Salzburg in Austria, but yeah. We do have the talent. It's just that Greg Berhalter is probably the worst coach we could have had. Well, not the worst, but one of the worst coaches we could have. And then first, Uruguay. The talent they possess with the likes of Darwin Nunez, Fede Valverde, Luis Suarez isn't even really going to be a starter. They've got Araujo. It's a really talented team, and they even have Marcelo Bielsa as manager. So, they'll top the group with ease. And on Group D, in last, I'm going with Costa Rica. This team is awful, and Keylor Navas recently retired from the national team, so they'll be without Navas for the Copa America, which is an even bigger loss. Costa Rica will finish bottom. In third, Paraguay. They have Almiron. That's basically it. And then for the top two, second, I'm going Brazil. And first, Colombia. Now, Brazil don't have a good manager. They're kind of in a transitional phase. And then we have Colombia, who actually beat Brazil in Copa World Cup qualifying last year. Just a few months ago. So they've shown that they can beat Brazil. And with players like Luis Diaz, James Rodriguez, I think they'll top the group. Now we get into the quarterfinals, and I have here Argentina against Jamaica. Jamaica has a lot of talent, but they're up against Argentina. So, yeah, Argentina's going through. Then we've got Ecuador against Canada. Canada's got talent, but I think Ecuador will advance to the semis here. And now we got a big one here. Uruguay versus Brazil. Brazil have a ton of talent. They have Champions League winners in Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. And then we have Uruguay, who have been in really good form in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying. And with Marcelo Bielsa as manager, I actually think they will advance here. Oh yeah, I haven't been saying the scores here. For Argentina, Jamaica, I'm going to go 2-0 for Argentina. Ecuador versus Canada, I'm going to say 3-1 for Ecuador. Maybe 3-2. I'll actually say 3-2. Then Uruguay, Brazil, I'm going 2-1 for Uruguay. And then this is going to be a bit controversial. Call me biased all you want, but I'm going to say the U.S. beat Colombia 2-1. We have the talent to do this. Now, depending on how tonight's friendly goes between the U.S. and Colombia, I might regret this prediction. But I'm going to say the U.S. actually will go to the semis. And for the semis, I have Argentina versus Ecuador and Uruguay versus the U.S. All right. So, Argentina against Ecuador. Ecuador is a talented team, yes, but Argentina is just too good. I'm going to go, just like in World Cup qualifying, it's going to be an extremely physical 1-0 for Argentina. And it'll be a Messi wonder goal that sends Argentina to the final. And then we've got Uruguay versus the U.S. These two played each other in the group. And I'm actually going to go with 3-1 to Uruguay. This team is amazing. Maybe even 3-0. I'll go 3-1, actually. I'll go 3-1. All right. Then, third place match. Ecuador versus the U.S. Ecuador has a talented team. The U.S. has a talented team. Ecuador does have a better coach. But I'm going to say the U.S. get third. 2-1. You know what? 3-2. And the U.S. the U.S. get third as hosts. So, pretty decent performance. And then for the final, Argentina versus Uruguay. I'd say that Messi will open the scoring with a free kick. Then, let's say Darwin Nunez will then score a brace to turn the game on its head. Second half, and we'll have a last-minute equalizer for Lautaro Martinez. And then in extra time, Fede Valverde from outside the box is just going to smash a top corner, and Uruguay will win the Copa América 3-2. So, there we have it. My official predictions. Biggest disappointment has to be Mexico. My underdog, U.S. And that's the podium here. Fourth, Ecuador. Third, U.S. Second, Argentina. And first, the winners, Marcelo Bielsa's Uruguay. Player of the tournament, I think, is going to be Fede Valverde. And top scorer will be Darwin Nunez. So, there you have it. And I'll see you tomorrow for my Euro predictions. See you next time.